Okay, I am replacing the condenser unit on a Lexus RX330. It's a 2004. Basically, what's happened here is my air conditioner stopped working. I filled it up. It worked for a few weeks, then it stopped again. So I put dye in there, and sure enough, I found that the dye was coming out of the condenser in the front. Fairly common issue in this car because that condenser is unprotected. So if rocks throw up into the bottom of the car, they'll smash right into that condenser, and it looks like that's what happened in this case. I'm starting by popping off the little clips, plastic clips that hold the little plastic trim on that covers the radiator holder. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, and then there's one here in the front. To take these off, I know they make a special tool for it. I'm just kind of prying it up with a flathead, and then I'm just snipping it off with snips. I bought a bag, I think 50 of these on eBay for like $3 or $4, and they're used all over the car, so it's a good thing to have. Okay, with that piece gone here, we're going to remove, these are 10 millimeter bolts. We're going to remove 1, 2, 3 for this air intake. We're also going to need to remove this one and this one on either corner, and the 2 that are holding on the horn, as well as these 2 holding on the clamp, and this one down here holding on this crossbar. We basically have to take this top piece off so we can lift the old condenser out. To get this air vent off, all I did was unplug this, and then I just pulled these tubes out of these little holders here, and that should be enough now for me to just twist that out of the way. I took out that lower piece of the air intake. Once this top piece is out, it just shimmies out. It's a little kind of folds and bends, so it's a little tricky, but nothing holds it in other than the top part, so you can just lift that off. Next, I'm taking off this bolt, and we're going to get this this top piece removed. Okay, so once I took all these screws off, there were a couple little things. There was a clip down here I had to pop just to give this bar enough flex to be able to pull this back. Next thing I'm working on here are, if I pull that back, you'll see there's a Phillips head that's holding that condenser in, and there's one on each side, so I'm going to take those out. Okay, so next I'm going to take, I got those 2 screws out. I got to take these top clamps. There's 2, I believe they're 8 millimeter and 1 10 millimeter to get these top lids off. And there's one on the left side, and there's one on the right side. I'm going to get those taken off, and then this condenser, the only things left are the 2 lines, which you can see, I believe they're both 10 millimeters. Take those off, and then this whole thing should just lift out. So I'm trying to get this out, and I have this pesky cable that goes across the top here, so I can't lift out the condenser. So I think ultimately I'm going to have to take out this top piece, which probably I should have taken out anyway. It would make everything a lot easier, but there is a bolt, a 10 millimeter, all the way at the bottom of this center post. So I'm going to try to use this little extension and a swivel to get to it without having to take this bottom piece off, but you can see it right there. That's the one we're trying to get to. Okay, so I got that bar up and out of the way. There were a few things I had to plug. There's the, I believe there was a temperature sensor for the radiator maybe down at the bottom of that. There were the 2 plugs for the horn. And then there was another sensor up here, which I believe is maybe a hood latch sensor. I'm not sure where that was going, but with this out of the way, this will now just lift right. So obviously assembly is the reverse of disassembly. Just to make life easy, I know I put these lines on first because everything is wide open now, and next I'm going to put this T-bracket back down and in and replug in all those harnesses. Alright, so that whole job probably took just short of an hour. I'd followed a forum post on ClubLexus, which said it was pretty easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, said it was a 2, and that it would be done in about 20 minutes. It definitely wasn't difficult. You know, there were no real tight spots or any major challenges. I'm guessing if I did it again, I could get it done in about 40 minutes. The bulk of it is just taking all the screws off and getting that top bar off, working on that bottom screw. But if you take your time, it was pretty easy and straightforward. There were no hitches. The only hitch I had was that wire that crosses above the radiator. There's not a lot of play in that, so you do absolutely have to take that T-bar off and roll it out of the way so you have room to cleanly remove the condenser. So the new condenser's in. I'm going to get this evacuated and then charged at a repair shop, and hopefully I will be good to go.